Hello, I'm Mark. Welcome to my channel. As you listen today, I invite you to move with me. Put your feet about shoulder width apart, and kind of like you're on skis with your toes facing forward. And then I'm going to twist. I'm going to fold here and fold here, and do a little bit of a weight shift. It's my nose and my chest and my torso are turning. And then I'm just going to let my arms be kind of dead arms, and move as I twist and gently twist. And this talk is about stability and my own personal QiGong journey. I have several complex challenges in my life. One of them is complex PTSD. Another is post-concussion syndrome. And I have experienced chronic pain for many years, and I'm disabled from chronic pain. And in that searching, through anything you can find to try to heal when you have challenges, we tend to heal up pretty good. And that's a beautiful thing about being human. And occasionally we don't heal. We get a wound or a scar, and we kind of carry it with us. And over time, those things can build up and be very disabling. And that's the situation I currently find my existence. And even though that's happening to me, I feel like my Qigong practice is a very beautiful and powerful stabilizing force in my life. So I want to talk about instability and how to cultivate stability through Qigong, through just sharing my own story. And so one thing about having a chronic condition, or multiple, like a cluster of chronic conditions, is that it disorients you and destabilizes many things. Your mental state. You experience fewer and fewer times of coherence, and more times of just chaos, or your mind running, or emotionally you may be less stable and less able to say manage those internal emotions. They might just feel like they're out of control, or go towards frustration or anger or sadness. These are common themes that come up. You might experience depression or despair for a few days, a few weeks, a few months, or for decades. Qigong helps. It's not like a miracle cure. You have to put in the work. But what it does is in my opinion, it's an ancient practice that humans have come up with repeatedly around the world. In particular, Qigong comes from China. But all cultures come up with ways of humans to move, to help us with our traumas, to help us with our complex problems, and to help us become more stable. Because the more stable we are, the better we are able to serve ourselves. And the better we're able to serve ourselves and make good decisions, we can better serve those around us and all beings in our community, local and globally. When we're stuck in a chaos, or feeling like you're the victim, or just being reactive, which happens, we're less able to make good decisions, and less able to internally stabilize, therefore less able to help and be a blessing to those around us. And so my goal for this talk would be to invite you to look at your movement practice, whatever it is. I invite you to consider Qigong as a possibility. But ultimately, cultivate stability, and however that looks like for you, blessings on your journey. For me, it was coming across Qigong videos on YouTube. The first one, I think, was Yoga Lily, and she had a Qigong movement set of 8 called the 8 Silk Brocades. And I followed along with that video probably 100 times or 200 times now. It's I think it was like around 12 minutes. It was great. It worked great for me. But what going through a movement set of QiGong is an invitation to stability. That's like the base layer. You can take it to different places, and if you have a teacher, you can go really deep with it and even into wonderful spiritual places. I'm talking about basic stability, making it through each day type of stability, and it really helps with that. Because what we do in QiGong is we learn these moves. My teacher calls it, learning the alphabet, learning, what's this move? Here's a move. If you watch my movement bites, you'll see one of those moves. There's different moves. This one is a move right here, this twisting, simple twisting. One thing with twisting, you can feel like your head's being hung from a string, like a bell, just coming down. And your whole skeleton just hangs off of this, and you settle. And another guideline is keep it at 70%. Don't go past 70%, and that way you don't create new injuries for yourself. So that's something. If you're in pain, for myself, I think I wound up in chronic pain in part from pushing myself too hard and not paying attention to my body. And so over time, ignoring those signs and pushing harder created little injuries that I didn't really notice because I was already in pain. And so if you're already in any kind of pain, psychological pain, emotional pain, physical pain, it's easy to create more injuries because of the very fact of the fragile state that exists. And so QiGong helps me cultivate stability, and started off watching Yoga Lily videos and imitating her practice, and then later getting a teacher, and then later getting another teacher. But what led me to land on Yoga Lily was initially just typing into YouTube how to heal. How do I heal? How do you heal the human body? And I've watched hundreds and hundreds of videos and came across this doctor in Canada, and she specialized in working with people with chronic pain. And she said the number one thing that helps her clients with chronic pain is a mind-body practice, doing something that it causes you to put your attention in your body, your mindfulness inside your body as you move it around. So like Tai Chi or QiGong or any kind of a movement practice, walking, but having that extra layer of attention, your attention being inside your body. Having attention inside your body helps to stabilize. First off, it helps stabilize the physical body. And as I'm doing this move, I'm inviting all my tissues, and the more awareness I have inside my body of the inside, I can feel from my inside of my feet. I can feel my vertebrae turning just a little bit, and all my tissues are being invited to reorganize and get information that, the spine can be free. The body doesn't have to have so much tension. It doesn't have to have a kind of a bracing that is often a default. There's a bracing against, more pain, more nonsense. This simple movement and other what appear to be simple QiGong movements can be very complex mechanisms to bringing stability. So first off, it comes with a kind of a physical stability. The older we get, the more prone we are to falling. I've had several falls, and I believe my QiGong practice has prevented many, many falls and has helped me when I have fallen to have less injuries and to be able to fall, you could say, do a better job falling when I do fall. Next, once you learn the basic movement of a a QiGong set, you can spend the rest of your life exploring that movement set. And if it's, if it's one that's held the test of time, you could say peer reviewed for many generations, what you find is it not only helps you physically, but it helps emotionally. So then as my body feels more stable, my emotions can become more present to me. And we discover we have all kinds of emotions flowing through us. That they appear and they are powerful and they disappear and they come and go. They're like storms. And as you stabilize your body, and it's kind of like water, it's being invited to be calm. Doing it out in nature like this, you co-regulate. So the movement is helping me regulate. Nature is helping me regulate. Just beyond me, I can hear a small stream. There's a bird up over here watching me. There's a bird over here singing. This tree looks like it's in the process of living and dying at the same time, which is a fun metaphor for living life as a human. So having your attention, your awareness inside your body as you move seems to open up avenues that didn't exist before, little portals to notice how amazing nature is and how amazing life was. Even before I started doing this, I was very tired. I had a rough night's sleep. My watch said I had 2 hours and 59 minutes of sleep. Well, that is a consequence of having chronic conditions. How do I make the best of today? Well, I want to share with you how I cultivate stability, even though there are forces that appear to be against me cultivating stability. I think that's probably always true. We're in the mix of the forces. So, physical stability, as our mind goes into the body more and more, we can have a little bit more grasp to help notice our emotions come and go. And then over time, a few years of doing this, you can watch emotions come and go and become less attached to them, less reactive, and just more, I guess you could say, gratitude. I did get 2 hours and 59 minutes of sleep last night, and I'm very grateful for those 2 hours and 59 minutes, because I know what it's like to not get any sleep, and 2-3 days of that, and that's a kind of a madness that I don't wish on anybody. And so moving like this, having our mind, our awareness inside of our body, helping to stabilize the physical body and invite vitality, helping to stabilize emotions, without being less and less reactive and more filled with gratitude. And then lastly is the mind. When I think just living as human beings in this world, our mind can really go crazy and get away from us and think all kinds of stories and dramas, and the sky is falling. We're all running around saying the sky is falling. And maybe it is. But if I'm unstable, I can't do anything about it, inside myself or out there in the world. And so the more I can cultivate stability in my tissues, in the experience of emotion, and in the landscape of mind, if I can allow thoughts then to come and go and not create them into stories. And if they go into stories, allow them to go into stories and run their course and leave. And so we're kind of like a filter just watching the mind while feeling the body. And the key is putting our awareness in the body. The more um, interoception, the more you can experience your own body from the inside, and proprioception, where all your parts are in space and time, the more rooted I am. Qigong helps you to become rooted. And rooted is an easy thing to say and a difficult thing to experience. I've been working on rooted for, I don't know, 5 or 6, maybe 7 years now, and I may have encountered it a few times. And I think part of that is having a very dysregulated nervous system, which makes that kind of a stability just a more difficult goal to achieve. But also, I have neuropathy in my feet, so I don't have a feeling of connection to the earth. And rooted has that component of being connected. And over time, and this has taken a really long time, so like over 5 or 6 years, I've had tiny, tiny little increments of stability growing in my lower body. I might call it rootedness from time to time. But that's what I'm working towards. I'm working towards stability. And it takes many forms. And at some point, once you get past the basics, once you learn a form and you practice the form in such a way where your tissues begin to reorganize and become more stable as they hold you in different positions. And so one thing that Qigong practice helps me around the house, I like to work in the kitchen and do kitchen magic, is reaching up to the cupboard. So a lot of moves have this twisting. So as I reach up and put things away or get things out or get things out of a cupboard, all these movements are more stable, less likely to cause an injury, and the more I can do kitchen magic, the better I take care of myself, and so on and on. So the more we can build off stability, the better off we all are. And so I encourage listening to the movement bites on my channel, or watching Yoga Lily, or many of the other great channels that are out there. Just move. And if you can get yourself to doing it 30 minutes a day, that would be watching like 3 of my movement bites per day at different times, clocking up 30 minutes of movement. If you can get yourself to 30 minutes of movement a day where you're inviting these kinds of stability, physical, structural, emotional, and mental, like water settling, at that point, I would recommend getting a teacher. But I've got a teacher before where it was just too soon. I wasn't ready for the things the teacher had to teach because of my body was not ready for the kinds of things that teacher was giving were beyond my ability to experience because I didn't have that initial stability. And so I invite you to work on your own stability. And in my own personal journey, I currently have a teacher, and I'm also working on this 1-year apprenticeship, and I'll probably be working on that for many years because it was a very complex, but we're just using sets of Qigong and then going deeper and deeper, creating more and more nuanced and subtle stability in different ways, which helps you cultivate a more vital life. So thank you for listening. That's my journey from experiencing chronic pain to encountering Qigong and then noticing how it helps calm my nervous system, calm my mind, calm my emotions, calm my body, and make openings for vitality to move in. May you be blessed with vitality. And I encourage you to put in the hard work of daily practice and sneak it in wherever little ways you can, 10 minutes here or there, and over time, watch the seeds of stability you plant grow into mature vitality in your life experience. Thank you.